and I'm free software developer. I contribute to Guix and RD projects and also do various stream series. We usually talk about development tool practices, free and open source software, and development task. What was on the previous stream? We fixed OBS crash and went completely well without any technical issues. And I thought that today will be the same because, we persisted the fix and everything should work fine. But today I don't have electricity, so we will get out of battery quite quickly, I guess, because streaming takes a lot of resources, including battery life. Also, yesterday we talked about persistent results and accumulative value, and why it's important to persist your results to reduce regressions and so on. Also, scheme test suite API and a simple test runner, and found out how to define tests and also how to set this test runner. And today, summary. Nice to see you here. Let's see what we've done during the past week. We made a chat, IRC chat overlay, so everyone who writes in IRC, every message will be visible project, so it's better documented and easier to understand the context of the decisions made in the project by new developers or by ourselves a few months or years later. We fixed a bug in Qt5 failand which caused OBS crashes and other applications as well. Also, we had 32 people on IRC channel yesterday, and it's quite a huge number. I didn't expect it actually, but it seems the RD project and also this stressful for me by making more streams. Actually, making streams so often is a little stressful, but each particular stream is easier. Also, because we fixing some stream related issues and we improve streaming setup, it's much easier to stream to make every new stream. Also, we wrote a guile test runner and a few things to make use of it. You can support me by using RD or telling your friends about it, or just by sending a message by IRC, Mastodon, or email. It's always a pleasure to talk with you, and I try to answer as quickly as possible. Rooted, I don't play League of Legends too much these days. Actually, I didn't play for almost a year, I guess. But maybe someday I will come back. It was fun time, for sure. Let's talk about future plans for those streams. We made a lot of work on streaming setup. We made a lot of work on RD project, but didn't talk about actual free and open source software business. So next week I plan to cover and to explore possible business models. Also, I need to maintain Nginx configuration, and I use guix and guix deploy for it, but I'm not very satisfied with how my current configuration is written, and it's hard to maintain maintain it. So I think we will use REPL-driven development and maybe test-driven development to improve this aspect of our setup. And also, I hope we will finish something related to test runner. At least we'll make a new makefile target, new implementation of check target, which will be executing tests written in scheme, and it will make it without too much setup, like without configuring emacs and so on. But actually, if you implement some tooling for emacs, which allows to run tests inside emacs, as it done in Cider, for example, it will be easier to persist as RD features, so every RD user and developer will be able to utilize it to improve the development experience, because it's very reproducible, so it won't be too hard. Just include one more feature in your RD configuration. Rusit says that he will wait, and he don't play anymore, but went to the college or university and now learning programming. Have some troubles with database courses, but I think you will figure it out, and you will get a good grade. I wish you luck with it, and learn and be curious. Okay, today we continue exploring the rest of SRFI 64. Also, I would like to keep working on tooling for running tests, but because I don't have electricity today, it actually went down just 10 minutes before the stream. We probably won't be able to do too much, so I guess we have around 40 to 50 minutes. So let's go and do some stuff. I had a few words about open technology and open technologies in general, but I will be short today to save some time for our work. Open technologies not always perfect, not always shiny and polished, but what's cool about it, not about it, but about open technologies, that we can explore them, we can modify and fix and improve them. So actually it's what we usually do in our day-to-day work in free and open source software. We improve technologies from which work done by the whole humanity. And this is a great property of open technologies, open knowledge, and I think that one of the things that we really like about it. And let's finish here and go and do some manual reading and programming. Thank you very much, Rusit. Let's pin those tabs so they don't get in our way, and let's continue reading of SRFI 64. Previously, we were working on any test model, but actually we were working on test runner and test declarations. And what we got at the end of the stream, we were able to declare a test group with a few test cases inside it. And we manually instantiated test runner and reset test runner after those test cases evaluated. Let's explore what else we can do, like skipping tests, setting test runner for particular tests, and maybe some other features. It's very sad to see how this battery goes down, but at least you can see how it displayed. I actually spent some time implementing this waybar configuration and display appropriate icons and statistics. So at least we know that it works. Conditional test suites and other advanced features. The following describe features for controlling which tests to execute or specifying that some tests are expected to fail. Very good. I won't be reading the whole text because I guess it's a little boring to see me reading slowly the English text, so I will be reading it first, and after that highlighting some interesting details, maybe, or maybe just skipping some parts. Okay, it says about some test specifier, which is one argument function, which accepts a test runner and returns a boolean. And it determines if the test will be performed or not. Not very clear yet. A simple example. If some condition test skip to. Okay. Test match name. It seems that this function should somehow control the execution flow. Okay, this list. Test match nth accepts an n as argument and executes next few tests, I guess. It's a stateful predicate. That means that there are some internal state, and every time test evaluated or increase, I mean decreased n or increase count, probably increase count. Test match any which accepts specifier, any specifier matches. Okay, each specifier is applied in order, and it seems the specifiers can have side effects, which maybe okay. Also, there is test match all. It's obvious counterpart to test match any. It should all specifiers should be evaluated to true, and for any it's only one is evaluated, should be evaluated to true. So it's like or and predicates. Okay, let's see the next subsection. Skipping selected tests. In some test cases, you may want to skip a test. Test skip specifier. Okay, let's try how it works. Oops. Let's go back to examples. Do you remember? Oh, okay. We remember this command. Let's start the REPL and let's connect to it. Geyser connect. Okay, we're here. Now we can evaluate our namespace. And we see that 3 tests passed and 1 failed. Now let's use test skip case 1. Whoa, cool. The test case was skipped, and let's okay. We can make a few test cases with equal name, and they both will be skipped. Very nice, it works, at least. Okay, we know that entering to the group don't remove test skip, but if we have a nested group, nested group, and here we have test skip, we see that tests not skipped anymore. And let's copy those two tests here before test skip. Okay, and let's move test skip at the beginning. Okay, we see that one test case skipped, and other two test cases not skipped because the test skip was used inside the group, inside test begin and test end. If you remember what we've done yesterday, test group is basically wraps test begin, test end, and the body provided here. Okay, we figured out how test skip works. but I still not sure. How this thing works. Let's use it. Let's use it here. Let's test match name case 1. Pass. Test match name. Lambda runner. Okay. Test match name returns a specifier. Oh, namespace. Here, the specifier is just a string, but it can be actually a test match name. And now you see that we returned a specifier which matches by test name, and this test was skipped. Now we can do something more interesting. We can combine a few conditions like test match name case 1 and case 2, and all of them should be evaluated to true to skip the test. And of course it never happens because test case can't have two different names, but we can use test match any, which says that one of those specifiers should be evaluated to true, and we see that it skips a test. Oh, we have electricity back. Nice. I will take a power adapter, and probably we will make our string longer than it was expected. I'm back here exactly at right time. My laptop almost gone out of power, but the electricity is back. Here we insert the skip. And now it should skip 2 tests, but if I update it, it skips only 1. Cool. We understood how specifiers work. Do we have something opposite to test skip, like run only test we probably we can we can implement it. Let's just see how. Let's just call pretty print for. Okay, let's keep safe, fail safe. I still don't know how to pretty print records. Okay, we have skip list. Let's print it. Test runner skip. Let's find out skip list. Oh, we have a function which called test should execute. Which actually decides if we need to execute the test or not. Returns false, true, or X fail. Test should execute runner run test run list. It's probably let's see what test run list contains. Test run list contains true. Oops. Okay, test should execute called here in test group. Okay, test group adds test name to runner, and test should execute probably somehow access this value. This is the reason I don't really like imperative programming, because it's too much state which spread all over the place, and you need to track it down where it starts, where it ends, where it modifies something. It's much easier when everything is passed explicitly to the function as a value, and this function doesn't accept any external sources like global variables and some mutable things. It just takes values, returns values, and all the state is somewhere in one place and very explicit. And everything else is pure function, which makes it much easier to reason about programs. Test. I expected it to have a test name somewhere, because we are already inside test group. So it should be somewhere here. Oh, this is okay. This how this model called? Let's list. It's specifiers. It adds specifiers to test runner skip list. I'm curious how it get cleaned up. Oh, probably test end resets all the values. Let's see test end. Suite name, line info. Test skip list. Test runner skip save. What is skip save? Not the most readable code I have ever seen. If you think that some thoughtful things is going through my mind, it's not true. I'm just staring at the list and okay, let's read a few more paragraphs and see what else interesting we'll find here. And maybe we'll go back to test skip implementation later. Okay, this one is like this. And let's make it fail. and if won't indicate, and probably we'll know how to set it up. Oops. Servers. Probably it went from IRC. Oh, it's come back. I don't know why I can't connect to. Oh. Okay. It seems we reconnected back to it. Let's try to do it using ERC. Okay. Now I am sure it works. Let's get back to test runner. Of course, we already know what it is, because we already did a lot of stuff related to it. It's just a record which contains different information about test process. It contains which tests to skip and what's the result of running of some of the tests and what is current group and so on. Which gets or sets the current test runner. It's video freezes every 5 seconds. It may be because I use mobile internet. I can switch to Wi-Fi. Maybe it will be better this way. Okay, it shows excellent connection here. And it works here as well. Cool. Now I don't remember what we were talking about. Probably talked about test runner current. And about expected fails. The funny thing about this function is that if called without arguments, it returns a current test runner. If it called with an argument, it sets current test runner. Test runner simple and test runner null. returns test runners. There's even theoretical possibility to make a test runner GUI for graphical test runner. Test runner create. And test runner factory. Okay, it's some strange pattern with implicit state, which says that we can set a value for test runner factory, and every time test runner create called, it will use this value to instantiate new test runner. So you can see here that we have instantiate test runner, which just calls a test runner current with test runner create value. And test runner create works thanks to this definition, which says that we should use test runner OK as our default test runner. And each time test runner current will be set to test runner create value. But here we explicitly instantiated ourselves, but test begin can also instantiate it. But we do more explicit way here. Okay, now I finally figured out how test runner factory works and why someone would like to use it. Actually, I'm not sure why someone would like to use it. It seems a little unnatural for me to implement it this way, but maybe there is some sense to do it so. Okay, test apply calls procedure. Okay, now I see what I don't like about the approach of SRFI 64. Here our test get defined or loaded only during the evaluation of this code. Like, we first need to instantiate test runner, and after that we only load tests and they get executed. So all the logic inside this test group, test begin, and so on are tightly coupled with some test runner. So until we instantiate the test runner, we can't actually evaluate this code. Or part of this code will instantiate test runner for us, which is not that cool. We could define test with some macros like define test, for example, and have a name for it. I don't know, our super test suite, and here we will write test group something and few asserts here, and this thing could create a new symbol which will contain a test group and test cases, and later we could do something like run tests, test runner, our super test suite, or like this. This is a very explicit way to run tests, and also it could be automated, like select all loaded tests. For example, we loaded a few namespaces, and each of them has a few defined tests inside it, and select all loaded tests will return all those test suites, and we will be able to run them all, or to select only a few every second loaded test or something like that, and it gives more flexibility and control, in my opinion. But we don't have such API here. It seems that people who wrote this as RFI was pretty sure that everyone will be running tests as just some command line which loads the whole file and goes and evaluates all the tests, and didn't expect that somebody will want to access this API in more flexible way and to do some programming. Okay, calls procedure with no arguments using the specified runner. Maybe we can achieve something that I mentioned just a few seconds ago, like our super test suite, and here we place all this code. Expression evaluated, very nice. And now test apply our super test suite. Wrong type argument in position 1. Why so? The runner is optional, and specifier, okay, maybe specifier Let's say test match name case 1. Okay. Test runner, okay. It returns true. But if we remove test expect fail, what it will return? It still returns true. Hmm. Hey, good morning, Demis. Oh, actually, good day. It's 13 o'clock here. Or 1 o'clock. Do you say 13 o'clock or not? You are 3 hours behind. Oh, Anton, you are quite close to me, probably. Saratov? Actually, I have a classmate from Saratov. I don't know if you know him. Alexander Timin. Let's also try out test with runner. Test with runner in comparison to test apply doesn't require a procedure. Oh, test with runner. Interesting. Let's add a group. Huh. Now it fails. Now it works. Not sure how this supposed to work. Okay, it basically creates a test runner. It saves current test runner. It sets test runner current to our provided runner, evaluates all the forms, and set the test runner current to the original value. Which should work with test groups. But it doesn't. Don't know why. I know why. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know why, because the test runner current will be set to runner. Maybe I forgot to set something. Wrong type. Expecting string. Sorry, Demis, I didn't get your last sentence. Sorry for that. Probably I lost the context of it. Okay, those two are not exactly clear for me right now. But let's postpone it and take a look at test results. We have pass fail, x pass, and skip. Everything is quite clear here. The value is expected, and fail, it is unexpected to fail, and x fail is expected to fail, and x pass is expected to fail, but it passed. And skip in case we skip in the test. Test result kind. Test passed. Let's see. Okay, test result kind. Should return. Ouch. should return the value of the last test. Let's see. Test result of test runner current false. If you do it here, okay. Not very interesting, but okay. Test passed. In shorthand, may be useful. Okay, test passed is just a predicate which checks if the last result is pass or XPass. Okay, there are association list which attached to test runner, which can contain arbitrary values. And here a few functions to operate on this list. Ref is just getting the value associated with particular symbol. Result set is modifying this value. Remove removes it from association list, and clear just clears the whole association list. And of course, test result a list returns the whole a list. It's interesting that for every test, at the beginning of assert and similar procedures, it will be called. So that's the test result for only latest test, and it is maintained until the next test. Let's see what it contains. Result kind, actual value, expected value, test name, source form, and so on. It's actually useful inside the test runner itself. You can see the test result ref used here to obtain some values and print them. So it's useful. Standard result properties, result kind, source file, source line, source form, expected value, expected error, actual value, actual error. Okay, we are getting to the writing a new test runner. Okay, we define some callbacks which get evaluated and called on particular events. We have on test begin, on test end. What's the difference between? Okay, this is setter, this is getter, this is setter. Grow begin, grow end, bed count, called from test end. And also we have a signature for the function. Oops. The signature for the function that we place here as a callback. Okay, there is on bed count. Which checks the number of test cases defined by test begin, and if it doesn't match, you can do something about it. Okay, another thing is on bed name. This is why last time I was a little surprised that test begin and test end with non-matching values doesn't break something, and it didn't report in any way. This is why I didn't define callbacks for such events. It's a responsibility of test runners to handle those cases, and in my test runner they're not handled. Okay, on final function takes one parameter, a test runner, and typically displays a summary count of the tests. Okay, on final function called on group end, after group end, so it should be related what okay, it should be related to the last test end, or in our case after the last closing test group bracket. What happens if we have this test suite executed twice? Okay, everything will start from the beginning. But if you do something like test begin, unmatched begin. Okay, and until I call test end, we won't see the final statistics. The statistics. Okay, very easy to screw up something using test begin and test end directly. Okay, thank you for explanation. Yeah, it happens. Actually, it's not that often, but it's especially true with complex systems or with systems written in imperative way, because it's really hard to understand when something breaks, because it's so tightly coupled and state is spread all over the system, so it's really hard to find out some quirks and reasons why something doesn't work, because it's really hard to reason about such systems. When I do my usual programming, it has more functional style, and if something doesn't work, I just track down in which part of the code it doesn't work and fix it, and it less likely that I will stuck scratching my head and thinking why it is failing. So I would say the functional programming is much more straightforward and easier to manage and maintain. Not the functional programming itself, of course, but systems written in this manner. Okay, there's a bunch of predefined callbacks that we can use, used in simple test runner, so we can use the same. But in my case, I inherited from test runner null. So test runner null basically creates a record, test runner record, and sets almost all the fields to the null or empty or false or empty list value. We can change it to simple, and nothing very interesting happened. But now we can do it rig. We can use test begin hello test and not matching and we'll see test group hello. It seems that test runner simple also doesn't care about matching, about reporting, or somehow showing that test begin not matched with test end. Okay, but we can implement it later ourselves if we want. We are getting close to the end, the last section. It is a good and bad at the same time. It's good because, you know, we almost finished, and the bad part is probably that I still don't know how to properly implement a test runner and integrate it with Emacs. But okay, we will handle it somehow. Test runner components. It's a description of functions, of getters, that can give us some insights about something related to tests. Of course, first 5 functions provides a statistics about number of failed, passed, and expectedly failed, and unexpectedly passed, and skipped tests. Test runner test name returns a current test or test group as a string. And for test groups and test begin, it's the name of the group, and for assertions, it's a test case name. Test group pass and test group stack. I think it's self-explanatory, but in case it's not clear, just let's take a look here. The pass is a list of nested test groups, new test group, nested group, and so on. And here you can see how this list changes when we exit from the nested group. Okay, and stack is the same list but in a reverse direction, or it's more appropriate to say that pass is a value of stack but reversed. Test runner auxiliary value. It's just a special field which can be used by custom test runners for something. It's not defined by specification how to use it. Test runner reset is a function which actually resets your test runner, the value of all the fields, all the statistics, and so on. Okay, and here we have an example test runner which inherits from test runner null. Not inherits, it actually creates a mutable record which later modified, but we can treat it as kind of inheritance. Oh, probably log Probably we don't know, we don't want to inherit from test runner simple, because if I recall correctly, it outputs something to the file, and we don't want to output anything to the file. So it's better to be sure that we don't use this functionality and inherit from test runner null. And here it just shows what we can do. And after that, we set test runner factory value to the lambda, which returns a closure of my simple test runner function, my simple runner function. And that's it. Okay, nothing too much interesting here. We already did the same, and even a little more advanced test runner. Let's see the latest section. Okay, the implementation is done in this file, and we already saw this file in our text editor. Examples here is srfi25 test based on test scm. Test suite. Of course, we need a test suite for the testing framework itself, so the test suite is here. Okay, test suite looks interesting. Test begin, the name of the test suite and number of the tests. A lot of asserts, subshape. And test end at the end. Okay. What else we have here? Test begin srfi64 meta test suite. Did you know the trick? If you want to actually have a code highlighting, you can just copy URL and call eww, open this file and use scheme mode. That's it. And now you have this file with code highlighting in your text editor. And you can actually do whatever you can with your scheme files. Evaluate parts of the code using some structural navigation or even a menu. Test begin. Okay, nested tests. Interesting. Tree runner. Okay. It's interesting to see tests for the test framework written in this test framework. Cool. Yep. Have a good day, Demis. It was nice to see you. We finished reading SR564. We now know almost anything about this API. I'm still not sure what happens with test apply. Oh, actually, let's take a look at the example. Test apply. Don't beat the current test runner. There is no way to test the behavior of test apply. Current test runner. Okay, let's see how it works. We take test runner current, test match name. Okay, looks valid for me. Let's try it one more time. Test. Test apply. Test runner, whatever. Test runner current. Okay. And here we have a lambda function which has test group and so on. Let's evaluate. In procedure, reverse wrong type argument and position 1. True. Okay. Okay, now it works. Case. Let's omit this. It returns true, and that's it. What's the point? Maybe it has a different output port, or why I don't see anything in std out. 0 skipped, 0 passed, 0 failed. Okay, I still don't understand how it works. I will take a look at implementation and we'll figure out later. Okay, we did a lot of reading today. We produced not so much code, but at least we figured many things out. I still don't know if we need to base our system, our testing part of RD on SR564, but I will need some time to figure it out. Let's make it go to the back of my mind and be processed in the background, and in the meantime we'll do other things. I think that's almost it for today. Be kind to everyone and write tests. Enjoy what you do and do what you enjoy, and see you in a bit. Have a nice weekend, everyone.